$5 million. For $5 million, this could be yours. That was the first of the cards. See that? You know what that card is?
Gold card.
It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card.
Who's the first buyer?
Me. I'm
Who's
the
the
first.
second?
I don't know, but I'm the first buyer. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks, probably. Pretty exciting, right?
Ready for some questions?
Anybody want to buy one? Okay, let's go.
First, we'd love to get your reaction, sir, to what's going on in the financial markets today.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected. This is a patient that was very sick. We really inherited a terrible economy, as you know, with a lot of problems, including loss of manufacturing and plants closed up all over the country. You know, we've lost 90,000 plants since NAFTA, if you think of that. 90,000. It's not even believable. And about 6 million jobs. And so it was a sick patient. It went through an operation on Liberation Day. And it's going to be a booming country, a very booming country. It's going to be amazing, actually. And we see it because we have trillions of dollars committed to come in. Trillions.
Sir, can I ask you, when you say that it was an operation and the patient's healthy now, does that mean you see us as kind of towards the high water mark in terms of how high?
Sure. The operation's over, and now we let it settle in. You see the plants are starting to construction already. We have many plants. Indiana, massive auto plant, the Honda, and we have so many plants, and they'll be under construction. And as they start to build, you're going to see a lot of construction jobs, and you're going to see a lot of jobs when they open.
Does that mean chips and pharma tariffs are not on the
They're
table?
starting very soon. The chips are starting very soon. The pharma is going to be starting to come in, I think, at a level that you haven't really seen before. We are looking at pharma right now, pharmaceuticals, as a separate category, and we'll be announcing that sometime in the near future, not too distant future. That's under review right now.
Are you negotiating with partners currently?
What we have is we have a set of tariffs based on what they've been charging us. That's reciprocal. And those tariffs have come in, and every country's called us. That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat. If we would have asked some of these countries, almost most of these countries, to do us a favor, they would have said no. Now they'll do anything for us. But we have tariffs, they've been set, and it's going to make our country very rich.
Are you open to deals with these countries if they're calling you?
Well, it depends. If somebody said that we're going to give you something that's so phenomenal, as long as they're giving us something that's good. For instance, with TikTok as an example, we have a situation with TikTok where China will probably say, we'll approve a deal, but will you do something on the tariff? The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have. I've used them very well in the first administration, as you saw, but now we're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation, and it's very exciting to see. And what it's done is driven a lot of great companies to our country, and you're going to see construction starting all over. I already got a couple of calls from Lee Zeldin from Environmental. He's got some big plans to approve, like really big plans.
How long will it take to get American manufacturing, to where you would like to see it?
Well, let's say it's a 2-year process. You know, they start a plant, and they're big plants. We're giving them approval to also, in many cases, to build the electric facility with it. So you have electric generation and the plant, and they're big plants. Now, the good news is a lot of money for them, and they can build them fast, but they're still very big plants. So I'd always say it would take a year and a half to 2 years.
Mr. President, I'm curious.
They've already started some of them.
President, have you been following the New York City mayor's race? And specifically, Andrew Cuomo is now the front runner, according to the polls. How do you feel about that? Do you think you could have a good relationship with the mayor, Andrew Cuomo?
Well, I've always gotten along with him. We had our ins and outs a little bit. We did a great job for him. Remember, we built the convention center rooms for him. He didn't use them, unfortunately. And we sent the Mercy ship. We sent the really magnificent hospital ship, and they didn't use it. But we always had a pretty good relationship.
You going to make an endorsement in that race?
Well, it's not something I'm thinking about yet. Is he thinking about running? Yeah.
On Russia, Ukraine, there's a Russian envoy in town for some meetings. Can you give us an update on how that's going?
We do. We have an envoy from Russia. We're talking about it. We'd like to see that stop as soon as possible because thousands of people are being killed a week. Soldiers, mostly soldiers, and Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers. And you're losing 2,000, 3,000 sometimes a week. So we're spearheading the drive to get it done. Europe has not been successful in dealing with President Putin, but I think I will be successful.
So I ask you about the NSC. How many staffers were let go and why? Your National Security Council. How many staffers?
Oh, there were some. There was some. Always, we're going to let go of people that we don't like, or people that we don't think can do the job, or people that may have loyalties to somebody else. You'll always have that.
So you mentioned Netanyahu recently. Israel has now talked about staying in Gaza, doing long-term occupation. Has anything changed in regard to the U.S. Gaza-Israel plans?
I spoke to him today, as a matter of fact, and I think he's going to be coming to our country sometime in the not-too-distant future, maybe next week. And we'll speak about Israel, and we'll speak about what's going on. That's another thing we'd like to get solved. And I think we will get it solved. But
Sir,
I think he very well may be coming next month. Benjamin Netanyahu.
Sir, can I follow up on your earlier comment about TikTok? You said that the Chinese might be willing to agree to approve that sale in exchange for tariff relief. Is that something that you've floated to them or you've heard from them? Or
No, I'm just using that as an example. Let's say we had a problem with TikTok, and let's say China wasn't going to approve. We could use tariffs in order to get it approved. You give them something in return.
What's the update on the deal negotiations for
We have
TikTok?
we're very close to a deal with a very good group of people for TikTok.
Larry Ellison, or is it multiple investors? Just
Multiple.
And then do the last minute bids kind of throw things into disarray for you, or do you have your strategy completely locked up on who's going to
Which last minute? Which?
on acquiring TikTok?
No, I think that China maybe will call and say, well, we're upset with the tariffs, and maybe they want to get something a little bit in order to get TikTok approved. Who knows?
Is there plans underway to speak to Xi?
I have no knowledge of that, but that's the kind of thing that we're on.
Can you give us any update on the Palestinian relocation plan? Are we talking to any countries?
We're going to try and solve the Gaza problem. It's been a problem for many years, for many, many decades. It's been a big problem. I've met with, as you know, a lot of the hostages. It's a terrible situation. But if you notice, hostages are being released now. And that's happened only since I got involved. So we have hostages being released, quite a few, actually.
You're still committed to the relocation?
I'd like to get as many hostages as we can. And then Gaza's a very, very important thing. It's been under siege for many, many years. And it's a shame. It's a shame. A lot of people die in Gaza. Gaza's been a place we have a lot of people die. A lot of bad things happen in Gaza. We'll see what we can do about it.
The dinner tonight. Can you tell us about it? Who's going to be there? Any leaders?
So dinner tonight is sort of I have a couple of them actually, but a lot of it's based around charity. It's at Doral, and we raise a lot of money for charities. We're going to also have having one of the big professional golf tournament there live, and that'll take place over the next few days at Doral from I guess tomorrow till I think they have a pro-am right now, but I'll be speaking tonight. I think I'm making a speech to the players, great players, some of the best players in the world, and ultimately, hopefully, the two tours are going to merge. That would be good. I'm involved in that too, but hopefully, we're going to get the two tours to merge. You have the PGA Tour, you have the Live Tour, and I think having them merge would be a great thing.
Mr. President, about the tariffs, do you have any message for the American businesses that might feel the impact of any reciprocal tariffs coming from the EU, for example, or from other countries?
I think it's going to all work out. Remember, there are no tariffs if you build your plant or you build your product, make your product in the U.S. And so a lot of people, I mean, there's going to be a transition period because they're going to be building instead of paying tariffs to some other place. But there are no tariffs. You know, if you think there are no tariffs, all you have to do is make your product in the United States. So it's and a lot of people are doing that. They're moving, like the auto companies. I know I spoke to 2 of the 4 or 5 that are really active, and they've already started moving their parts making things out of Mexico, out of Canada, and into the United States.
So
Did
do
you
you
speak
have
to
a
any
sense
CEOs
of
today?
how long Elon Musk's mission will last and when he will depart?
Well, Elon is fantastic, and I think he's a patriot, and I think it's a shame what they're doing with his car company, and a great car. It's a great car, great product, and it tells you what a patriot he is. He's amazing. No, I mean, as long as I like smart people, and he's a smart person. I also like him personally. When he endorsed me, that's when I really got to know him. I knew him a little bit before that, but not much, and then he endorsed me, and it was a very strong, embracing endorsement, as we all know. And I would say Elon will stay for a certain period of time, and then he's going to want to get back to his businesses full time. But he's done a fantastic job. We found hundreds of, think of it, just hundreds of, we found millions of dollars of fraud and abuse and waste, and they're still going. I mean, they're going strong. They found something today that's horrible. It's horrible. So what they found, well, you'll find out very soon. What they found is incredible, and I give him a lot of credit. He's got some very smart people with him.
Do you think he can
And
finish
they're working very closely with our secretaries and the people that are the heads of.
Do you think
Do
he
you
can
think you would
finish?
appoint him to another position once his 130
Well,
days?
I think Elon's great, but he also has a company to run, or a number of companies to run. You know, that he can do this, that he can find the time. He loves the country. That's why he does it. But we're in no rush. But there'll be a point at which time Elon's going to have to leave.
So
But
you
he
mentioned
hasn't given
auto
you a date, a
companies.
specific date on when he's out.
I would think a few months.
Even when Elon leaves and goes back to being CEO, will Doge stick around in some kind of capacity?
Yeah, it'll still Doge itself. Yeah, at some
What does that look
point.
like?
Just so you understand, I don't want to get it wrong. I want Elon to stay as long as possible. Number 1, I like him. Number 2, he's doing a great job. Number 3, he is a patriot. That's why he's doing this, and he's, it's very costly for him. But so I want him to stay as long as possible. But there'll be a point where he's going to have to leave, and when he does, the secretaries will take totally over, and Doge will stay active. We have a lot of smart people. A lot of those people, I believe, are going to go into the agencies, and they'll work on it from the inside.
You mentioned auto companies that you've been speaking with. Have you spoken to any executives today?
Yeah. I don't want to say who, but I speak to a lot of the auto executives. But we have much more than autos. We have chips coming in. We have steel coming
But
in.
do they call
The
asking
steel
for
factories.
exemptions?
The steel factories are opening up and expanding at levels that people have not seen. Also,
Can you tell us a little bit about your meeting with Laura Loomer and Mike Waltz today, and how that came about?
So Laura Loomer is a very good patriot. She's a very strong person, and I saw her yesterday for a little while. She makes recommendations of things and people, and sometimes I listen to those recommendations, like I do with everybody. I listen to everybody, and then I make a decision. But I saw her yesterday. She was at the ceremony, and she'll always have something to say. Usually very constructive.
What did she recommend?
She recommended certain people for jobs.
Adding to the administration, not
Adding.
Who did she
not
recommend?
firing.
Well, she'll recommend that too. But yesterday she recommended some people for jobs.
Did she have anything to do with the NSC aides who were ousted?
No, not at all.
Do you know how many, sir? Do you know how many from the NSC?
Not many.
Was it 5, a dozen?
I really don't know.
Who does Laura
There were a couple.
Who did Laura recommend hiring?
Well, I don't want to say that, but she's recommended some good people over the years. She's been She's been in the party a long time. She's done a good job.
Do you trust your national security staff is doing what you want them to do?
Sure I do. We've done very well. We've had big success with the Houthis, as you probably know. Nobody's been able to do it like us. And they were shooting the boats out of the water. They were sinking ships. That's what they would do. They're getting a big charge out of sinking ships. And unfortunately, they're associated with Iran very closely. So they have to stop that. But we've hit them very hard, and we've been hitting them very hard.
Sir, did you talk to Congresswoman Luna about her resolution to get maternity?
Congresswoman who?
Congresswoman, about her resolution to allow proxy voting for new mothers. Did you speak to that?
I did, and I would say this. I guess there's two sides to it, right? It's a little controversial. I don't know why it's controversial. I think she's great. Anna.
Do you support her movement?
I think that, and I'm going to let the speaker make the decision, but I like the idea of being able to, if you're having a baby, I think you should be able to call in and vote. I'm in favor of that, but I understand some people aren't. I'm not involved in the issue, but I did. I spoke to Anna yesterday, and she and some people feel strongly about it, and I would agree with them, yeah.
So you mentioned Iran. They have come out and said if they're going to sit down with the U.S., they want to use an intermediary. And I believe the U.S. wanted direct talks. Would you still be willing to talk to them via an
I think
intermediary?
it's better if we have direct talks. I think it goes faster, and you understand the other side a lot better than if you go through intermediaries. They wanted to use intermediaries. I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. I think they're concerned. I think they feel vulnerable, and I don't want them to feel that way. And I think they want to meet, Iran. They're talking about Iran.
You said you don't think they want to use intermediaries anymore. Did they send another letter?
Yeah.
Did the UAE let you know about this?
I know for a fact. I think they'd like to have direct talks.
Did you say anything about what the letter said from Iran?
No, I just think I'm just telling you, I think they want to have, forget about letters, I think they want to have direct talks.
When can that happen?
On Pete Hegseth and this IG investigation, do you want to weigh in on that?
What is it?
There's an IG investigation into the Secretary of Defense's use of the Signal app.
Oh, is that, you're bringing that up again? Don't bring that up again. Your editors probably. That's such a wasted story. So what else?
Chinese farmland. Do you have some plans for Chinese ownership of farmland in the
We
U.S.?
look at that all the time. And look, I have a very good relationship with China and with the president, who I have a lot of respect for, President Xi. So, we look at that all the time.
Yeah.
The farmland, it's been an issue for years. People have talked about it for years. But I have a lot of respect for China, and I have a lot of respect for President Xi.
When's the last time you talked to President Xi?
I speak to him. Doesn't matter when, but I speak to him.
Have you talked to Zelensky recently?
Not too long ago, yeah.
How did that go?
Good. I think he's ready to make a deal.
No progress still other than that?
I think a lot of progress. No, he's ready to make a deal, and I think that President Putin is ready to make a deal, and then you'll stop the killing of thousands of young people a week.
Did Kirill Dmitriev say that to your his counterparts in the U.S.?
Oh,
Kirill Dmitriev, the Russian negotiator that's in Washington right now?
I don't talk about specific people. I just will tell you that there's a lot of good conversation going on about Ukraine, Russia.
Have you given your approval for the UK's deal over the Chagos Island that Prime Minister Starmer and you discussed?
I'm talking to the Prime Minister about it, and we'll see how that turns out. We have a very good dialogue going. And I think he was very happy about how we treated them on tariffs.
Sir, a lot of people were upset about how
Who are you with?
the Daily Mail. A lot of people were upset today about how their 401ks were doing. Do you have investments? Were you looking at them? Are you
I
worried?
think our markets are going to boom. Got to give it a little chance. But we're taking in jobs, and we're taking in industry, and we're taking in trillions of dollars. I think our markets are going to boom. Got to give it a little bit of time. But they've already started construction on numerous plants. Soon it'll be many, many plants all over the country. They're going, and so you got to give that a little time. I haven't checked my 401k. Thank you very much,
Sir, one
everybody.
question on the Fed. A lot of money markets are now pricing in more Fed cuts this year.
But one thing I like is interest rates going down. I see that happening. And
The 10-year
interest,
yield
you
is
know
like
what's
over
beautiful
4%.
is interest rates go down. I like groceries going down. I like eggs going down. If you look at it, and very importantly, the gasoline prices are going down. So a lot of good things are happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President.